Welcome to Chinese History and Mythology.
Hey friends, welcome back to Chinese History and Mythology. In the last episode, we talked about what happened after Dong Zhuo was killed by Liu Bu. On the surface, the court seemed to have restored order, but very soon the situation lost control again. Li Ju, Guo Si, and the other former Ziliang generals took the chance to counteract Chang'an. Wang Yun was killed, the court fell back into the hands of military men, and Emperor Xian once again became a puppet. To stabilize the situation, Li Ju and Guo Si chose to control the warlords in the emperor's name. At the same time, they removed their enemies and controlled the government. Chang'an was once again trapped in danger and uncertainty. Meanwhile, Ma Teng of Ziliang and Han Sui raised troops to attack the rebels, but because their food supplies ran out and their inside supporters were exposed, they were forced to retreat. This allowed Li Ju and the others to strengthen their control even further. While the empire was still in chaos, another key figure began to rise, Cao Cao. He received an imperial order to fight the Yellow Turban rebels. Not only did he suppress the rebellion, but he also absorbed more than 300,000 soldiers and created the powerful Qingzhou army. He also welcomed talented men from many places. Strategists such as Zhang Yu, Guo Zha, and Chang Yu came to serve him one after another. Cao Cao's power grew quickly, and he gradually became a force that no one could ignore. But just as his power was beginning to take shape, a sudden tragedy completely changed the direction of his life. Cao Cao's father, Cao Song, was killed by Zhang Kai, a subordinate of Tao Qian, while passing through Su province. His entire family was slaughtered. When this news reached Cao Cao, he cried and collapsed. Then he swore revenge and led his army south towards Su province. Unlike his earlier campaigns, this time Cao Cao was not fighting only for power or territory. He came with extreme anger and a heart full of revenge. He ordered mass killings wherever his army went, even slaughtering civilians without mercy. For a time, the land of Su province was soaked in blood, and the people suffered terribly. Facing Cao Cao's fierce attack, Tao Qian, the governor of Su province, was both shocked and full of guilt. He knew this disaster had not been his true intention, but he could not escape responsibility. He could only rush to meet the enemy in battle. In the first clash between the two armies, neither side won a clear victory, but Cao Cao's killing intent had already been fully revealed. After returning to the city, Tao Qian even considered tying himself up and going to Cao Cao's camp to beg for punishment, hoping to save the lives of the people. But just as all of Su province was sinking into despair, a mysterious figure suddenly stepped forward and claimed that as long as they defended the city, he had a plan to turn defeat into victory. So who exactly was this person? Why did he dare to speak so boldly in such a hopeless situation? Would Cao Cao's war of revenge truly go the way he wanted, ending with the massacre of Su province? And how would this war pull more powers into the conflict, and even change the balance of the realm? Now, let's enter today's story. The man who offered the plan was Mi Zhu, courtesy named Zizhong, from Ku County in Donghai. His family had been merchants for generations and was one of the famous wealthy families in the region. Mi Zhu was kind and generous. Once, because he treated a mysterious woman with respect, he learned in advance that his home would suffer a fire, and he was able to save most of his family property. After that, he saw how unpredictable life could be and often used his wealth to help the poor and suffering. His reputation spread widely. When Tao Qian heard of his ability, he invited him to serve as an aide in Su province. Now that Cao Cao had surrounded Su province, Tao Qian had no plan. Mi Zhu stepped forward and said, "I am willing to personally go to Beihai and ask Kong Rong to send troops to rescue us. We can also send another man to Qing province to ask Tian Kai for help. If both armies arrive at the same time, Cao Cao will surely withdraw." Tao Qian was delighted and immediately wrote 2 letters asking for help. Chen Deng of Guangling volunteered to go to Qing province to meet Tian Kai. Mi Zhu took the other letter and hurried to Beihai to ask Kong Rong for aid. Kong Rong, the governor of Beihai, courtesy named Wenju, was a descendant of Confucius. He had been known for his intelligence since childhood and had a very high reputation. He had served in Beihai for many years, loved making friends, and was respected by the people. When Mi Zhu arrived, he presented Tao Qian's letter and said that Cao Cao's army was threatening Su province, asking Kong Rong to send troops to help. Remembering their old friendship, Kong Rong first wanted to send someone to persuade Cao Cao to make peace before deciding whether to send troops. But just then, Guan Hai, a remaining Yellow Turban leader, led troops to attack Beihai. He demanded 10,000 shi of grain and threatened to break the city and slaughter everyone if he was refused. Kong Rong said angrily, "I am a servant of the Han. How could I send grain to rebels?" The two sides fought, and Kong Rong's officer Zhang Bao was killed by Guan Hai. Kong Rong had no choice but to retreat into the city and defend it. The next day, Kong Rong climbed the city wall and looked into the distance. Seeing the rebels surrounding the city, he was deeply worried. Then he suddenly saw a fierce warrior riding alone into the enemy lines, cutting all the way through to the city gate. Kong Rong opened the gate to welcome him and learned that the man was Taisatsi, courtesy name Ziyi, from Huang County in Donglai. Taisatsi said, "My mother once received your great kindness. When she heard that Beihai was in danger, she ordered me to come and rescue you." Kong Rong was overjoyed and treated Taisatsi with great respect. Taisatsi was willing to lead troops and break through the siege, but Kong Rong believed the rebels were too numerous and that a direct attack was unwise. He said, "If we can ask Liu Zhu Guanpe for help, the siege of Beihai will surely be broken. Unfortunately, there is no one who can leave the city to deliver the message." Taisatsi immediately answered, "As long as there is a letter, I am willing to break through and deliver it." Kong Rong wrote the letter and gave it to Taisatsi. Taisatsi put on his armor, mounted his horse, and charged alone out of the encirclement. When Guan Hai saw someone breaking through, he personally led cavalry to chase him. Taisatsi calmly drew his bow and shot arrow after arrow, never missing. The pursuing soldiers fell from their horses one after another and no longer dared to come close. He rode all the way to Pingyuan, met Liu Bei, and presented Kong Rong's letter asking for help. After Liu Bei read the letter and heard Taisatsi explain the situation, he sighed and said, "So the governor of Beihai, Kong Rong, actually knows that Liu Bei exists in this world." He immediately summoned Guan Yu and Zhang Fei, selected 3,000 elite soldiers, and set out to rescue Beihai. When Guan Hai saw that Liu Bei had only a small force, he personally came out to fight. Taisatsi was about to meet him, but Guan Yu had already charged out first. He swung the green dragon crescent blade and fought Guan Hai. Before long, Guan Hai was cut down by Guan Yu. Taisatsi and Zhang Fei then charged into the enemy formation, while Liu Bei ordered a full attack. Kong Rong also opened the city gate and attacked from inside. Caught between both sides, the rebel army was badly defeated. Kong Rong was deeply grateful to Liu Bei and held a banquet for him. During the banquet, he introduced Mizhu to Liu Bei and explained that Su province was surrounded by Cao Cao. Kong Rong urged him, "You are a member of the Han imperial family. Now Cao Cao is using his power to bully others and harm the people. How can you not rescue them?" Liu Bei said that his own army was too small. Kong Rong urged him to borrow troops and help. Liu Bei agreed to go meet Gongsun Zan and said, "Whether the first can borrow troops or not, I will personally go to Su province." Seeing that the siege of Beihai had been lifted, Taisatsi said goodbye to Kong Rong and returned home to visit his mother. After that, he went to Yang province to join Liu Yao. Liu Bei went to Pingyuan to meet Gongsun Zan and explained that Su province was in danger. Gongsun Zan advised him, "Cao Cao has no personal hatred against you. Why risk yourself for someone else?" Liu Bei answered, "I have already promised to save them. How can I break my word?" Gongsun Zan admired his loyalty and lent him 2,000 soldiers. He also agreed to let Zhao Yun go with him. So Liu Bei led his own 3,000 men, with Guan Yu and Zhang Fei by his side, while Zhao Yun brought 2,000 men as support. Together, they marched towards Su province. Mizhu returned to Su province and reported to Tao Qian about requesting troops from Beihai. He also said that Chen Deng had successfully invited Tian Kai to send reinforcements. Only then did Tao Qian feel a little relieved. The armies of Kong Rong and Tian Kai arrived near Su province, but when they saw the strength of Seisaola's forces, they did not dare to attack rashly and instead set up camps at a distance. When Seisaol saw that reinforcements had arrived, he also divided his troops and took up defensive positions. After Liu Bei arrived, he joined forces with Kong Rong. He was worried that the city of Su province might run out of food if the siege continued too long, so he had Guan Yu and Zhao Yun lead 4,000 men to stay outside as support, while he and Zhang Fei led 1,000 cavalry straight into Seisaola's camp, planning to enter the city and meet Tao Qian. On the way, they were intercepted by Seisaola's general Yu Jin. Zhang Fei rode forward with his spear to fight, and Liu Bei followed with his troops. Yu Jin could not hold them off and retreated. Liu Bei chased all the way to the gates of Su province. When Tao Qian saw that Lu Xiaondi had arrived, he immediately opened the gates and welcomed him inside. When Tao Qian saw Liu Bei's noble bearing and heard his kind and sincere words, he greatly admired him. He even took out the official seal and ribbon of Su province and offered to hand over the province to Liu Bei. Liu Bei was shocked and quickly refused, saying, "I came here only to save Su province, with no personal ambition. If I accept this seal, would people not think I am taking advantage of your danger to seize land?" Tao Qian repeatedly insisted, and Mi Zhu and Chen Deng also urged Liu Bei to accept the position. Kong Rong even said, "Yuan Shu is nothing but a dead man in a grave, not worth mentioning. The time is right now, you must not miss it." But Liu Bei firmly refused. In the end, Tao Qian stepped back and asked Liu Bei to stay in Xiaopei for the time being and guard the gateway of Su province. After everyone persuaded him together, Liu Bei reluctantly agreed. After that, Liu Bei wrote a letter to Cao Cao, urging him to think of the greater good of the state and temporarily withdraw his troops from Su province. When Cao Cao read the letter, he became furious and said, "Who does Liu Bei think he is, daring to advise me?" He was about to execute the messenger, but Guo Jia advised him, "Liu Bei shows respect first and uses force later. It would be better to pretend to agree, let him lower his guard, and then find a chance to break the city." Cao Cao followed Guo Jia's plan, kept the messenger, and prepared to reply. Just at that moment, a scout suddenly reported, "Liu Bu has attacked and captured Yan province, and has already taken Pyongyang." It turned out that after leaving Chang'an, Liu Bu wandered from place to place and was eventually accepted by Zhang Miao. Chen Gong saw that Cao Cao had gone south to attack Su province and that Yan province was left empty, so he advised Zhang Miao to join forces with Liu Bu to seize Yan province. Now most of Yan province had fallen into Liu Bu's hands, leaving only Zhuangcheng, Dongeng, and Fan County still defended by Zun Yu and Cheng Yu. Cao Cao was shocked and said, "If Yan province is lost, I will have nowhere to return." Guo Jia then suggested using Liu Bei's letter as an excuse to pretend to accept peace and withdraw the army to rescue Yan province. So Cao Cao wrote back to Liu Bei, saying he was willing to stop the fighting, and immediately pulled out his camp and left. The siege of Su province was temporarily lifted. Tao Qian was overjoyed and held a banquet to thank Liu Bei, Kong Rong, Tian Kai, and the others. After the banquet, Tao Qian again offered Su province to Liu Bei, but Liu Bei still firmly refused and only agreed to stay in Xiaopei for the time being. Zhao Yun also said goodbye to Liu Bei and returned to Gongsun Zan. Liu Bei held his hands, and the two parted in tears. After that, Liu Bei led Guan Yu and Zhang Fei into Xiaopei, repaired the city defenses, and calmed the people. Meanwhile, when Cao Cao returned near Yan province, Cao Ren reported, "Liu Bu's forces are strong, and with Chen Gong's support, most of Yan province has been lost." Cao Cao thought for a moment and said, "Liu Bu has courage but no strategy. He is not a serious threat." When Liu Bu heard that Cao Cao was returning, he prepared to personally go to Pyongyang to fight, leaving Zhu Lan and Li Feng to guard Yan province. Chen Gong advised him to set up an ambush in the dangerous paths of Mount Tai and defeat Cao Cao in one strike while his army was tired from the long march. But Liu Bu refused to listen and said, "I have my own plan, no need for your advice." So he abandoned the ambush plan and stationed his troops in Pyongyang. When Cao Cao reached the dangerous paths of Mount Tai, Guo Jia warned that there might be an ambush. Cao Cao laughed and said, "Liu Bu has no strategy, he would never set an ambush." So he ordered Cao Ren to besiege Yan province, while he himself led troops to attack Pyongyang. Chen Gong again advised Liu Bu to attack immediately while Cao Cao's army was tired from travel, but Liu Bu still refused and waited until Cao Cao had set up camp. The next day, the two armies formed battle lines. Cao Cao questioned Liu Bu, "You and I have no grudge. Why do you seize my Yan province?" Liu Bu sneered and said, "The world of the Han belongs to whoever has the ability. Why should you alone control it?" Then the two sides engaged in battle. Sang Ba came out to fight, and Yu Jin met him. Zhang Liao then blocked Xiahou Dun. Liu Bu personally charged into the formation with his halberd, and Cao Cao's army could not resist. They were defeated and driven back 30 or 40 li. After Cao Cao returned to camp, Yu Jin offered a plan, saying, "Liu Bu's western camp is weakly defended. Tonight, while they believe our army has retreated, we can launch a surprise attack." Cao Cao was delighted. He led Cao Hong, Li Dan, Mao Ji, Liu Qian, Yu Jin, Dan Wei, and other generals, and with 20,000 troops launched a night raid on Liu Bu's western camp. At first, the camp was captured by Cao Cao. But Chen Gong had already warned Liu Bu to strengthen his defenses, and Liu Bu sent Gao Sheng, Wei Shu, and Hou Cheng to reinforce the western camp. Around the fourth watch of the night, Gao Sheng arrived with troops, and the battle continued until dawn. Soon after, Liu Bu personally arrived with reinforcements. Seeing that the enemy greatly outnumbered them, Pei Cao had no choice but to abandon the camp and retreat. In front was Lu Bu, behind was Gao Shun, and on both sides were Zhang Lao, Zhang Ba, and other generals attacking from all directions. Pei Cao's army was surrounded and arrows fell like rain. Pei Cao shouted, "Who can save me?" At that critical moment, Dian Wei rode out and shouted, "My lord, do not worry." He first threw short halberds at the enemy cavalry, hitting every time and killing several men. Then he wielded his twin iron halberds and charged into the enemy ranks, cutting a path through the blood and rescuing Pei Cao. The generals fought desperately to escort Pei Cao out of the encirclement, and they finally escaped for the moment. But as evening approached, the sounds of battle rose again behind them. Lu Bu rode fast in pursuit, shouting, "Pei Cao, do not run." At that moment, Pei Cao's soldiers were exhausted, their morale collapsed, and everyone fled for their lives. Cao Cao was being chased by Lu Bu and was in great danger, but fortunately Xiahou Dun arrived in time with reinforcements and blocked Lu Bu in battle. The two sides fought until evening, when suddenly heavy rain poured down, and both armies had no choice but to withdraw. After returning to camp, Cao Cao richly rewarded Dian Wei for saving his life and promoted him to commander of the troops. After Lu Bu returned to camp, he discussed the situation with Chen Gong. Chen Gong proposed a plan saying, "In Piyang, the Tian family is a powerful household. We can have them pretend to surrender to Cao Cao and say that Lu Bu has gone to Liang, leaving the city empty, and that they are willing to act as inside allies. If Cao Cao comes, we can lure him into the city, set fire at the 4 gates, and ambush him." Lu Bu was delighted and immediately carried out the plan. When Cao Cao received the secret letter from the Tian family, he truly believed that Piyang could be taken. Liu Yi advised him, "Lu Bu has no strategy, but Chen Gong is not simple. This may be a trap. If we move in, we should divide our forces for support." Cao Cao accepted the advice and split his army into 3 groups toward Piyang. When they arrived outside the city, they saw white flags on the walls marked with the character for righteousness, which made them believe even more that the Tian family was helping them from inside. That night, Cao Cao personally led Xiahou Yuan, Li Dian, Yu Jin, Dian Wei, and others into the city. Just as they reached near the government office, fires suddenly broke out at all 4 gates. Drums and gongs sounded together, and Zhang Liao, Zhang Ba, Gao Shun, Hu Cheng, and others attacked from every direction. Only then did Cao Cao realize he had fallen into a trap and hurried to break out. After Dian Wei fought his way through, he turned back to look for Cao Cao, charging into the flames several times, but he could not find his lord. Cao Cao was trapped inside the city and suddenly ran into Lu Bu. Lu Bu pointed his halberd at him and asked, "Where is Cao Cao?" In a moment of quick thinking, Cao Cao pointed ahead and said, "The one riding the yellow horse is Cao Cao." Lu Bu believed him and rode off in pursuit. Cao Cao took the chance to escape toward the east gate where he met Dian Wei. Dian Wei protected him as they rushed out of the flames. Cao Cao's horse was crushed by a burning beam and he himself was burned, but thanks to Dian Wei and Xiahou Yuan risking their lives, he managed to escape the city. After returning to camp, Cao Cao said angrily, "I have fallen into Chen Gong's trap. I will surely repay this." Guojia urged him to counterattack quickly. Cao Cao then spread a false rumor that he had died in the fire and ordered his soldiers to wear mourning clothes. Lu Bu fell for the trick and came to attack, but at Mount Menlang, he was ambushed by Cao Cao's forces and suffered a great defeat, forcing him to retreat back to Pyongyang. Soon after, a great drought struck the eastern regions. Locusts spread everywhere, grain prices soared, and even cases of cannibalism appeared. Cao Cao's supplies ran out, so he withdrew to Zhangcheng. Lu Bu also retreated to Shanyang to gather provisions, and for the time being, both sides stopped fighting. Meanwhile, Tao Qian, the governor of Su province, fell seriously ill. He summoned Mi Zhu and Chen Deng to discuss what should be done after his death. Mi Zhu advised him to take this opportunity to entrust Su province to Liu Bei. Tao Qian then sent someone to invite Liu Bei to Su province. After Liu Bei arrived, Tao Qian, lying on his sickbed, pleaded, "My time is short. My 2 sons have no ability. I hope you will take responsibility for this land of the Han and accept the seal of Su province." Liu Bei refused again and again. Tao Qian then recommended Sun Qian to assist him and instructed Mi Zhu to support Liu Bei with all his heart in the future. After saying these words, Tao Qian passed away. After Tao Qian's death, the soldiers and people of Su province presented the seal and asked Liu Bei to take control. Liu Bei still refused, until the people knelt before the government office and cried, saying, "If you do not take charge of Su province, we will have no way to survive." Guan Yu and Zhang Fei also urged him repeatedly. Only then did Liu Bei agree to temporarily govern Su province. He appointed Sun Qian, Mi Zhu, and Chen Deng to assist him, comforted the people, and gave Tao Qian a generous burial. When Cao Cao heard in Zhuangcheng that Tao Qian had died and that Liu Bei had taken control of Su province, he said angrily, "I have not yet avenged my father, yet Liu Bei has taken Su province without losing a single soldier." He immediately wanted to attack Liu Bei. Zun Yu advised him, "Yan province is your foundation. If you attack Su province now, Liu Bu will take advantage of your absence. Also, the people of Su province already support Liu Bei. If you try to take it by force, they will fight to the death. It is better to first attack the remaining Yellow Turban forces in Ronan and Yingchuan to seize grain and strengthen your army." Cao Cao accepted the advice, postponed the attack on Su province, and instead moved his troops to Ronan and Yingchuan. Cao Cao attacked the Yellow Turban leaders, He Yi and Huang Shao, and quickly won a great victory. Huang Shao was captured, and He Yi fled. When He Yi reached Gebei, he was captured by a strong warrior. Dian Wei chased to Gebei and fought this warrior. The two fought from morning until night without a clear winner. When Cao Cao heard about it, he recognized the man's strength and ordered Dian Wei to pretend to lose and lure him, then set a trap to capture him alive. Cao Cao personally untied him and asked his name. The man replied, "I am from Cao County of Cao Commandery. My name is Zhu Qiyu, courtesy name Zhang Kang." Cao Cao had long heard of him and was delighted. He asked, "Are you willing to serve me?" Zhu Qiyu replied, "That is exactly my wish." He then brought his clan members to surrender together. Cao Cao appointed him as a commander and rewarded him generously. After that, Cao Cao executed He Yi and Huang Shao and pacified Ronan and Yinchuan. After returning to Zhuangcheng, Cao Cao heard that Yan province's defenders, Zhu Lan and Li Feng, had been looting during the chaos and that the city defenses were weak. He immediately led his army to attack Yan province. Zhu Chu asked for the chance to fight, wanting to make his first achievement after joining Cao Cao. When the two armies met, Zhu Chu killed Li Feng within 2 rounds. Zhu Lan fled but was shot dead by Liu Qian. Yan province returned to Cao Cao's control. Cheng Yu then suggested attacking Peyang. Cao Cao immediately advanced with Zhu Chu and Dan Wei as the vanguard, pressing straight toward Liu Bu. Liu Bu ignored Chen Gong's advice and personally went out to meet the enemy. Zhu Chu first fought Liu Bu. Seeing Liu Bu's strength, Cao Cao sent Dian Wei to assist. Then Xiahou Dun, Xiahou Yuan, Li Dian, and Yu Jin all joined the attack. 6 generals fought Liu Bu together. Liu Bu could not withstand the assault and retreated back to Peyang, but the Tian family in Peyang, seeing Liu Bu's defeat and fearing they would be punished by Cao Cao later, surrendered the city directly. They raised the drawbridge and refused to let Liu Bu enter. With no choice, Liu Bu fled to Dingtao. Chen Gong escorted Liu Bu's family out of the east gate. Cao Cao easily took Peyang and pardoned the Tian family, then immediately pursued Liu Bu. Liu Bu, Zhang Miao, and Zhang Chao retreated to Dingtao. After Cao Cao arrived, he ordered his soldiers to harvest wheat for food and deliberately placed many flags in the forest to make Liu Bu believe there was an ambush, while actually hiding elite troops behind a long embankment to the west. The next day, Liu Bu came to attack and first set fire to the forest, only to find no one there. Just as he was confused, drums sounded from Cao Cao's camp and the hidden troops charged out together. Xiahou Dun, Xiahou Yuan, Zhu Chu, Dian Wei, Li Dian, and Yu Jin attacked from 6 directions. Liu Bu was defeated and his officer Cheng Lian was shot dead by Yu Jin. The defeated soldiers fled back to Dingtao. Seeing that the city could no longer be held, Chen Gong escorted Liu Bu's family away. Cao Cao seized the opportunity to take Dingtao. Zhang Chao committed suicide, and Zhang Miao fled to Yuanshu. At this point, most of the eastern regions came under Cao Cao's control. Although Liu Bu was defeated, he refused to give up. After gathering his remaining troops, he said, "Defeat in battle is not shameful. I still have soldiers. I can fight again." And so he prepared to rebuild his forces and return once more. After Liu Bu was defeated by Cao Cao at Dingtao, he gathered his remaining troops and retreated to the coast to rest. His generals gradually rejoined him, still hoping to fight again. Chen Gong advised, "Cao Cao's forces are strong now. We should not fight him head-on. It is better to find a place to settle first, preserve our strength, and plan for the future." Liu Bu originally wanted to go to Yuan Shao, but Chen Gong suggested first finding out Yuan Shao's attitude. In Jeizhou, Yuan Shao heard that Cao Cao was fighting Liu Bu. His advisor Shen Pei said, "Liu Bu is like a wolf or tiger. If he takes Yan province, sooner or later he will threaten Jeizhou. It is better to support Cao Cao now and eliminate him together." Yuan Shao agreed and sent Yan Liang with 50,000 troops to aid Cao Cao. When Liu Bu heard this, he was shocked. Chen Gong then suggested, "Liu Xunde has just taken control of Su province. We can go to him." So Liu Bu led his army towards Su province. When Liu Bei heard that Liu Bu was coming, he decided to go out of the city himself to welcome him. Mi Zhu advised, "Liu Bu is unpredictable, like a wild beast. Taking him in may bring endless trouble. Zhang Fei was also unhappy and warned Liu Bei to be careful. But Liu Bei said, if Liu Bu had not attacked Yan province earlier, Su province might not have been saved. Now that he comes in hardship, how can I refuse him? So he personally welcomed Liu Bu into the city. After meeting Liu Bei, Liu Bu described how he killed Dong Zhuo, fought Li Zhi and Guo Si, wandered through the east, and then took Yan province while Cao Cao attacked Su province, only to lose everything and have nowhere to go. Liu Bei then said, Governor Tao has just passed away, and I'm only managing Su province temporarily. Since you have come, it is proper that I hand Su province over to you. As he spoke, he even took out the official seal to offer it. Liu Bu was about to accept it, but when he saw the anger on the faces of Guan Yu and Zhang Fei, he immediately refused, saying, I am only a warrior. How could I take on such a responsibility? Chen Gong also stepped in to ease the situation. Liu Bei then stopped insisting and held a banquet to settle Liu Bu in. The next day, Liu Bu invited Liu Bei in return and addressed him as worthy younger brother. Zhang Fei became furious and shouted, My brother is of the Han imperial family. Who are you to call him your younger brother? If you dare, come out and fight me for 300 rounds. Liu Bei quickly stopped him, and Guan Yu also pulled Zhang Fei back. Liu Bu looked embarrassed, and the banquet ended unpleasantly. The next day, Liu Bu used Zhang Fei's hostility as an excuse and asked to leave. Liu Bei arranged for him to stay temporarily in Xiaopei and provided him with supplies and provisions. Liu Bu thanked him and led his troops there. Meanwhile, after pacifying the eastern regions, Cao Cao submitted a report of victory to the court. At this time, Chang'an was controlled by Li Zhi and Guo Si, and Emperor Shan suffered greatly. Grand Commandant Yang Biao and Minister of Agriculture Zhu Jun secretly suggested that Cao Cao, with his strong army, should be invited to enter the capital to eliminate the rebels. Yang Biao also proposed a scheme to sow discord by targeting Guo Si's wife to break the alliance between Li Jie and Guo Si. Yang Biao's wife secretly told Guo Si's wife that Guo Si often visited Li Ju's residence and might have improper relationship with Li Ju's wife. Guo Si's wife became jealous and began to stop him from attending Li Ju's banquets. She also poisoned food sent by Li Ju and tested it on a dog, making Guo Si believe that Li Ju intended to kill him. Later, after Guo Si attended a banquet at Li Ju's residence and felt stomach pain, his wife insisted he had been poisoned. From then on, Guo Si believed that Li Ju was plotting against him and secretly prepared his troops. When Li Ju learned that Guo Si was preparing the act, he also became furious. The two raised their armies and fought outside Chang'an, taking advantage of the chaos to plunder the people. Chang'an once again fell into disorder. Li Jue's nephew Li Xian seized the opportunity to kidnap Emperor Xian and Empress Fu, taking them to Li Jue's camp. Guo Si rushed into the palace, abducted concubines and palace maids, and burned the palace buildings. When Guo Si learned that the emperor had been taken by Li Jue, he personally led troops to attack. Li Jue moved the emperor to Meiwu and kept him under strict guard, cutting off contact between the emperor and the officials. The emperor lacked food and asked Li Jue for some rice and meat, but Li Jue sent rotten food instead. Emperor Xian was humiliated and wept, but he could only endure it in silence. The two rebels continued fighting. Yang Biao and Zhu Jin led officials to persuade them to make peace. Guo Si detained the officials and said, If Li Ju can seize the emperor, why can I not seize the ministers? Yang Biao angrily rebuked him. One seizes the emperor, the other seizes the ministers. What exactly do you want? Zhu Jun became ill from anger and soon died. Li Ju and Guo Si fought for more than 50 days, and the people of Chang'an suffered greatly. Attendant Yang Qi secretly told the emperor that Jia Xu, although serving Li Ju, had not forgotten the Han dynasty. Emperor Xian privately asked Jia Xu to find a way to help. Jia Xu knelt and said, This is exactly what I wish to do. Soon after, the emperor sent Huang Fuli to persuade Li Zhou and Guo Si to reconcile. Huang Fuli first convinced Guo Si, then went to see Li Zhou and said directly, Guo Si seized the ministers, but you seized the emperor. Who do you think will bear the greater blame? Li Jue became furious and wanted to kill him, but Yang Feng and Jia Xu persuaded him to stop, allowing Huang Fuli to escape. After Huang Fuli left, he spread rumors among the Ziliang troops, saying that Li Jue intended to rebel and that anyone who followed him would become a traitor. The morale of the army began to shake. Jia Rui also secretly advised the Qiang soldiers to withdraw. They already resented Li Jue for not rewarding them, so they left one after another. Li Jue's power weakened, but he continued to reward only female shamans and ignored his generals. Yang Feng and Song Guo became dissatisfied and plotted to kill Li Jue and rescue the emperor. The plan was discovered. Song Guo was killed, and Yang Feng fled. At this time, Zhang Ji arrived with troops to mediate. Seeing the situation turning unfavorable, Li Jue and Guo Si agreed to make peace. Zhang Ji submitted a request to escort Emperor Xian to Hongnong. The emperor was overjoyed, finally having a chance to leave Chang'an. Guo Si released the officials, Li Jue prepared the imperial carriage, and the emperor began moving east. When the imperial procession reached Bialing, Guo Si's men blocked the bridge for inspection. Only after confirming the emperor's identity did they allow passage. When Guo Si learned this, he became furious. He had originally intended to pretend to reconcile and then seize the emperor again. So he executed the soldier who allowed passage and immediately sent troops to pursue. When the emperor reached Huayin and heard the sound of pursuit, he was terrified and wept. At that critical moment, a force charged in from the southeast, carrying banners that read, Great Han Yang Feng. Yang Feng led troops to protect the emperor and ordered his officer Su Huang to fight. Su Huang killed Guo Si's general Kuyong with a single axe and drove back the pursuers. Yang Feng escorted the emperor to stay at Huayin. The next day, Guo Si returned to attack. Just as the situation became critical, imperial relative Dong Cheng arrived with troops and, together with Yu Huang, defeated Guo Si. Emperor Xian was deeply grateful and ordered Yang Feng and Dong Cheng to escort him to Hongnong overnight. On the way back, Guo Si met Li Jue. The two worried that once the emperor reached the eastern regions, he would summon the warlords to attack them. So they joined forces again to pursue, even planning to kill the emperor and divide the realm between them. Yang Feng and Dong Cheng fought them at Dongjian, desperately protecting the emperor as he escaped. But the officials, palace attendants, ceremonial seals, and imperial items were mostly lost. Li Jue and Guo Si continued to pursue, and the situation became increasingly dangerous. Dongqing and Yang Feng pretended to negotiate peace while secretly summoning former Baibo troops, including Han Xian, Li Lei, and Hu Cai, to rescue the emperor. Li Lei and the others came, hoping for rewards, but Guo Si used discarded clothing to confuse their formation, and their army was defeated. In the chaos, Hu Cai was killed, and Dongcheng and Yang Feng could only escort the emperor north. The emperor refused to flee alone and said, I cannot abandon the officials and escape by myself. Hearing this, everyone burst into tears. They reached the Yellow River, where there was only one small boat. The riverbank was steep, and the pursuers were close behind. They had to tie ropes from horse reins and white silk to lower the emperor and Empress Fu onto the boat. Those on the bank fought to get on. Li Lei used his sword to cut off the hands of those grabbing the rope, and cries filled the night. After crossing the river, only a dozen people remained with the emperor. Yang Feng found a broken ox cart and carried the emperor to Deyang, where they spent the night in a ruined house, surviving on coarse food given by a local old man. The next day, the emperor rewarded Li Lei, Han Xian, and the others and continued the journey. Yan Biao and Han Rong arrived and wept upon seeing the emperor. Han Rong volunteered to risk his life to persuade Li Ju and Guo Si to stop fighting. Later, the two did listen to Han Rong and released the officials and palace attendants, but by then, the land was in famine. People survived on dates and wild vegetables, and many died of hunger. The emperor temporarily stayed in Enyai, living in a simple hut surrounded by thorns. Even court discussions lacked any proper order. Dongcheng and Yang Feng wanted to escort the emperor back to Luoyang, but Li Le opposed the idea. Dongcheng said, Luoyang is the rightful seat of the emperor, and he is too small to hold the imperial court. Li Lei refused to go along and secretly contacted Li Ju and Guo Si again, planning to seize the emperor once more. When Dongcheng and Yang Feng learned of this, they escorted the emperor overnight toward Jiguan. When Li Lei discovered it, he immediately led troops in pursuit. Before dawn, they caught up near Mount Ji and shouted, Do not run. Li Ju and Guo Si are already waiting here. Fires lit up the mountain like daylight, and Emperor Xian was terrified out of his senses. Li Le pretended to be acting in the name of Li Ju and Guo Si and chased after the emperor's carriage. Emperor Xian was terrified, but Yang Feng looked carefully at the approaching troops and said, That is not Li Ju, that is Li Le. He immediately ordered Su Huang to go out and fight. Su Huang swung his great axe and killed Li Lei in a single round. Li Lei's troops scattered and fled. Yang Feng then escorted the emperor safely through Jiguang Pass. Zhang Yang, the governor of Heinei, heard that the emperor had arrived and immediately prepared food and silk. He welcomed the imperial carriage at Yidao. Emperor Xian was overjoyed and appointed Zhang Yang as grand marshal. After that, the imperial carriage arrived in Luoyang, but the old eastern capital had already been burned by Dong Zhuo. The palaces had become ashes, the streets were deserted, and wild grass grew between broken walls and ruined buildings. The emperor could only order Yang Feng to build a small temporary palace for him to stay in. When the officials came to greet him, they had to stand among thorns and weeds to perform court ceremony. Emperor Shen issued an order changing the era name to Jianan, making this year the first year of Jianan. But Luoyang had been abandoned for too long and was also suffering from famine. The people had no food, and even the officials had to go outside the city to cut firewood and search for food. People often starved to death among the ruins. Grand Commandant Yang Biao submitted a report saying, Cao Cao has strong soldiers and horses in the eastern regions. We can summon him to court to assist the government. Emperor Xian agreed and immediately sent an envoy east to summon Cao Cao. When Cao Cao learned that the emperor had returned to Luoyang, he gathered his civil and military officers to discuss the matter. Xing Yu advised him, Now the emperor is suffering. If you are the first to welcome and protect him, you will follow the will of heaven and achieve a great cause. If you are one step late, someone else may act first. Cao Cao was just about to prepare his army when the imperial envoy arrived, carrying the order that summoned him to court. Cao Cao was delighted and immediately set the date for departure. Before long, Li Ju and Guo Si again led troops in pursuit toward Luoyang. The emperor was terrified. Feng Cheng advised him, Luoyang is ruined, and there are too few soldiers to defend it. It would be better to avoid their attack for now and go east. Emperor Shan accepted his advice and set out toward the east. Not long after leaving Luoyang, they saw dust covering the sky ahead, and everyone panicked. Fortunately, a messenger arrived on horseback and reported that Cao Cao had already sent Xiahou Dan with Yu Qiu, Dian Wei, and other fierce generals, leading 50,000 elite soldiers to protect the emperor. Soon after, Cao Hong, Li Dian, Yu Jin, and others also arrived one after another. The emperor sighed and said, General Cao truly is a pillar of the state. When Li Ju and Guo Si's pursuing troops arrived, Xiahou Dan and Cao Hong split their forces and met them in battle, defeating them and cutting down more than 10,000 men. The next day, Cao Cao personally led his main army into Luoyang and entered the city to meet the emperor. Emperor Xian was overjoyed and appointed Cao Cao as Colonel Director of Retainers, granted him the ceremonial authority of the imperial axe and staff, and placed him in charge of the affairs of the imperial secretariat. Seeing Cao Cao's army so powerful, Li Ju and Guo Si panicked. Jia Xu advised them to surrender in order to save their lives. Li Ju became furious and nearly killed Jia Xu. That night, Jia Xu fled back to his hometown. The next day, Li Ju and Guo Si still sent troops to fight Cao Cao. Cao Cao first sent Su Chu, Cao Ren, and Dian Wei to strike the enemy formation. Su Chu killed Li Ju's two nephews, Li Xian and Li Bei, on the spot. Cao Cao praised him, saying, You are truly my Fan Kuai. He then ordered Xiahou Dan and Cao Ren to attack from both sides, while he personally led the center army forward. Li Jue and Guo Si suffered a great defeat and fled west into the mountains. Cao Cao returned victorious to Luoyang. Yang Feng and Han Xian saw how powerful Cao Cao had become and feared he would swallow them up. Using the excuse of pursuing Li Jue and Guo Si, they led their troops away to Daliang. At that time, the court official Dong Zhao came to meet Cao Cao. Cao Cao saw that he had an impressive bearing and spoke with him at length about the situation at court. Dong Zhao advised, Luoyang is ruined and has no food. The people's hearts are unstable. It would be better to ask the emperor to move to Sou. Sou is close to Liyang, has easier access to grain, and has strong city walls. It is the right place to settle the court. Cao Cao was delighted and said, This is exactly what I had in mind. Cao Cao entered the palace and requested that the capital be moved to Sou. Emperor Xian was weak and dared not oppose him, and none of the officials dared to speak against it. So Cao Cao escorted the emperor and moved the court to Sou. When they reached Gaoling, Yang Feng and Han Xian led troops to block the road, accusing Cao Cao of taking control of the emperor. Cao 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 saw that Yang Feng's officer Xu Huang was majestic and impressive, and greatly admired him. He ordered Xu Chu to fight him. Xu Shou and Xu Huang battled for more than 50 rounds without a clear winner. Cao Cao sighed and said, "Xu Huang is truly a fine general. I cannot bear to kill him." Men Cheng volunteered to go to Xu Huang's camp at night and persuade him to surrender. He said to Xu Huang, "You are brave and wise, yet you follow men like Yang Feng and Han Xian. It is a real pity." General Cao loves talent and respects worthy men. Today, after seeing your bravery, he could not bear to harm you. A good bird chooses the tree where it rests. A worthy minister chooses the Lord he serves. Why not leave darkness and join the light? Xu Huang thought for a long time and finally agreed to join Cao Cao, but he refused to kill Yang Feng and Han Xian as a gift of loyalty, saying, "For a minister to kill his lord is unjust. I will never do that." Men Cheng respected his sense of honor and brought him to Cao Cao that very night. When Yang Feng learned of this, he led troops in pursuit, but he fell into Cao Cao's ambush. Together with Han Xian, he was badly defeated and eventually fled to Yuanshu. After the emperor safely arrived in Su, Cao Cao built palaces, ancestral temples, and government offices, and settled the officials there. He made himself Grand General and Marquis of Wuping. He also appointed Sun Yu, Guo Jia, Chen Yu, Dong Zhao, Man Chang, and others as his advisors, while Xiahou Dun, Xiahou Yuan, Cao Ren, Cao Hong, Su Chu, Dan Wei, Su Huang, and others served as his generals. From then on, all major court affairs had to pass through Cao Cao before being reported to the emperor. Cao Cao now officially held the real power after stabilizing Su. Cao Cao gathered his advisors to discuss Su province. He said, "Liu Bei holds Su province, and Liu Bu is stationed at Xiaopei. If these two join forces, they will become a serious threat." Zun Yu offered a plan. Although Liu Bei controls Su province, he has not yet received an official appointment from the court. You can request that the emperor appoint Liu Bei as governor of Su province, then secretly write to him and urge him to kill Liu Bu. If Liu Bei kills Liu Bu, he loses a powerful ally. If he refuses, Liu Bu will become suspicious once he learns of it. This is a plan to make two tigers fight. Cao Cao was delighted. He immediately requested that Liu Bei be appointed general who campaigns east, marquis of Yichen village, and governor of Shu province. Along with the imperial order, he attached a secret letter. After Liu Bei received the imperial order in Shu province, he thanked the court for the appointment. The envoy then secretly handed him Cao Cao's private letter, which urged him to kill Liu Bu. After reading it, Liu Bei only said that the matter needed further thought. Zhang Fei argued that Liu Bu should be killed. Liu Bu is already a faithless and unrighteous man. Killing him would not be wrong. But Liu Bei said, "He came to me when he had nowhere else to go. If I kill him now, that would be unjust." The next day, Liu Bu came to congratulate Liu Bei. Zhang Fei suddenly drew his sword and rushed out, wanting to kill him. Liu Bei quickly stopped him and then showed Cao Cao a secret letter to Liu Bu, explaining that Cao Cao was trying to make them turn against each other. After reading it, Liu Bu wept and said, "This is Cao Cao's scheme to divide us." Liu Bei swore that he would never do something unjust, and Liu Bu bowed in gratitude. Afterward, Guan Yu and Zhang Fei asked Liu Bei why he refused to kill Liu Bu. Liu Bei said, "Cao Cao fears that Liu Bu and I will work together, so he wants us to destroy each other. How can we fall into his trap?" When Cao Cao learned that Liu Bei had not killed Liu Bu, he asked Zun Yu what they should do next. Song Yu then proposed another plan: drive the tiger to swallow the wolf. They would secretly provoke Yuan Shu by saying that Liu Bei wanted to swallow his territory. At the same time, in the emperor's name, they would order Liu Bei to attack Yuan Shu. In this way, Liu Bei and Yuan Shu would fight each other, and Liu Bu would also grow suspicious of Liu Bei. Cao Cao followed this plan. Liu Bei received the imperial order commanding him to attack Yuan Shu. Mi Zhu reminded him, this must be Cao Cao's plan. But Liu Bei said, an imperial order cannot be disobeyed, so he prepared to send out troops. Before leaving, he had to arrange someone to guard Su province. Guan Yu was willing to defend the city, but Liu Bei could not bear to leave Guan Yu behind. Zhang Fei volunteered, but Liu Bei worried about his drinking, his temper, and his habit of whipping soldiers. Zhang Fei swore that he would not drink or beat anyone. Only then did Liu Bei reluctantly agree, and he asked Chen Dang to help Zhang Fei defend the city. After that, Liu Bei led 30,000 troops south with Guan Yu to fight Yuan Shu. When Yuan Shu received Cao Cao's secret message, he was indeed furious. He cursed Liu Bei for coming from such a humble background yet daring to occupy an entire province. He immediately sent his general Jiling with 100,000 troops to attack Su province. The two armies met at Suyi. Before the battle, Jiling insulted Liu Bei. Liu Bei replied that he was acting under imperial order to punish a rebel. Jiling then went out with his blade, and Guan Yu rode forward to meet him. The two fought for 30 rounds without a clear winner. After Jiling withdrew, he sent his deputy Sun Zheng into battle. Sun Zheng looked down on Guan Yu, but Guan Yu killed him in a single round. Liu Bei took the opportunity to attack, and Jiling was badly defeated, retreating to the mouth of the Huaiyin River. The two sides then entered a standoff. Meanwhile, Zhang Fei was guarding Su province. At first, he gave civil affairs to Chen Deng and handled military affairs himself. One day he held a banquet for the civil and military officials and said, "Before my brother left, he told me to drink less. Today, everyone will drink freely one last time. Starting tomorrow, we will all stop drinking and defend the city." The officials had no choice but to drink with him. When the wine reached Cabal, Cabal refused. Zhang Fei forced him to drink 1 cup. Later, Zhang Fei tried to offer him another drink, and Cabal refused again. Zhang Fei, now drunk, became furious and said, "You disobey military orders. You deserve 100 lashes." Chen Ding urged him to remember Liu Bei's instructions before leaving, but Zhang Fei refused to listen. Cao Bao begged for mercy and asked Zhang Fei to spare him for the sake of his son-in-law Liu Bu. When Zhang Fei heard this, he became even angrier. "You dare use Liu Bu to frighten me. Today, when I beat you, I am beating Liu Bu." He then ordered Cao Bao to be whipped 50 times. Cao Bao was filled with hatred. That very night, he sent a letter to Liu Bu, telling him that Liu Bei was away, Zhang Fei was drunk, and this was the perfect chance to seize Su province. After reading the letter, Liu Bu called Chen Gong to discuss it. Chen Gong said, "Xiaopei is not a place to stay forever. Su province now offers an opportunity. If we do not take it, we will regret it." Liu Bu was delighted. That night, he led 500 cavalry as the vanguard, while Chen Gong and Gao Shun followed with the main army, and they headed straight for Su province. Around the 4th watch, Liu Bu arrived below the city wall. He falsely claimed that he had been sent by Liu Bei to deliver secret military information. Among the guards were old subordinates of Cao Bao, and they immediately reported this to Cao Bao. Cao Bao opened the city gate. Liu Bu's hidden troops rushed in, and Su province fell into chaos. At this time, Zhang Fei was still lying drunk in the government residence. When he heard that Liu Bu had entered the city, he hurriedly put on armor, mounted his horse, and went out to fight. But he was still drunk and could not fight with full strength. Liu Bu also feared Zhang Fei's courage and did not press him too hard. Zhang Fei led only 18 personal guards and fought his way out through the east gate. Liu Bei's wives and family were left inside the city, with no time to bring them out. Cao Bao led troops to chase Zhang Fei. When Zhang Fei saw that it was Cao Bao, his anger exploded. He turned his horse back to fight. Cao Bao could not withstand him and fled toward the river. Zhang Fei thrust his spear into Cao Bao's back, sending both man and horse into the river, where Cao Bao died. Zhang Fei gathered the scattered soldiers who had escaped and hurried to Suyi to join Liu Bei. After Liu Bu captured Chu province, he comforted the people and especially sent soldiers to guard Liu Bei's residence, ordering that Liu Bei's family must not be disturbed. Zhang Fei arrived at Liu Bei's camp and told him how Cao Bao had joined with Liu Bu and how Xu province had fallen in the night attack. After hearing this, Liu Bei only sighed and said, "When something is gained, there is no need to be too joyful. When something is lost, there is no need to be too sorrowful." Guan Yu hurriedly asked where their sisters-in-law were. Zhang Fei said in shame, "They are all trapped in the city. I could not bring them out." Guan Yu was furious and blamed Zhang Fei for breaking his promise, drinking and beating people until Su province was lost. Zhang Fei was filled with shame. He drew his sword and was about to kill himself to apologize. Zhang Fei was about to kill himself to apologize, but Liu Bei quickly held him back, took away the sword, and cried as he said, "Brothers are like hands and feet. Wives are like clothing. If clothing is torn, it can still be mended. But if hands and feet are cut off, they can never be restored. We swore brotherhood in the peach garden and promised to live and die together. How can I let you die because of one mistake?" When Guan Yu and Zhang Fei heard this, both of them wept. Meanwhile, When Yuan Shu heard that Lu Bo had taken Xu province, he sent an envoy to meet Lu Bo. He promised gold, silver, grain, and horses, asking Lu Bo to attack Liu Bei from behind. Lu Bu was delighted and sent Gao Shun with troops to launch a surprise attack on Liu Bei. Liu Bei withdrew from Zuyi during a rainy night and prepared to move east to take Wangling. By the time Gao Shun arrived, Liu Bei was already gone. Yuan Shu later went back on his promise and said he would only fulfill it after Lu Bu truly captured Liu Bei. Lu Bu was furious and wanted to attack Yuan Shu. Chen Gang advised him, Yuan Shu has strong troops and plenty of supplies. We should not attack him lightly. It would be better to invite Liu Bei back to Xiaopei and make him our support. Later, we can use his strength against Yuan Shu. Li Bu followed his advice and sent someone to invite Liu Bei back. At this time, Liu Bei had failed to take Guangling and had been defeated by Yuan Shu's army. After receiving Liu Bu's letter, he led his troops back to Xu province. Liu Bu first returned Liu Bei's family to him. Lady Gan and Lady Mi told Liu Bei that Liu Bu had sent soldiers to guard their residence, never allowed anyone to disturb them, and often sent food and supplies. After hearing this, Liu Bei said, I knew Liu Bu would not harm my family. He then entered the city to thank Liu Bu. Liu Bu explained, I did not intend to seize the city. It was only because Zhang Fei killed people after drinking that I feared he would cause trouble, so I temporarily guarded Xu province. Liu Bei still treated him as a guest. In the end, Liu Bei withdrew and stationed himself at Xiaopei. Guan Yu and Zhang Fei both felt angry and unfairly treated, but Liu Bei urged them to endure for now and wait for the right moment. Meanwhile, Sun Si was serving under Yuan Shu. Although he had achieved many victories, he gradually felt that Yuan Shu was arrogant and did not want to remain under him for long. One night, Sun Si thought of his father Sun Jian's unfinished ambition and cried alone in the courtyard. Zhu Ji, one of his father's former officers, came to comfort him and said, Why not ask Yuan Shu to lend you troops? You can claim that you are going to rescue your uncle Wu Jing, but in truth, you can use the chance to build your power in Jiangdong. Yuan Shu's advisor Lu Fan was also willing to help. Sun Si decided to use the imperial seal as security to borrow troops from Yuan Shu. The next day, Sun Si went to see Yuan Shu and tearfully said that his uncle Wu Jing was being pressured by Liu Yao and that his mother and family in Kui were also in danger. He asked to borrow troops to cross the river and rescue them, and he offered the imperial seal as security. Yuan Shu was overjoyed when he saw the seal. He lent Sun Si 3,000 soldiers and 500 horses, and also appointed him as colonel who breaks the charge and general who destroys bandits. Sun Si then led Zhu Si, Lu Fan, and his father's old generals Chang Pu, Huang Gai, Han Dang, and others, officially beginning his eastern campaign. When Sun Si reached Leiyang, he met his close friend Zhou Yu. Zhou Yu and Sun Si had known each other since they were young and were as close as brothers. Sun Si told Zhou Yu about his ambition, and Zhou Yu immediately said he was willing to help. Sun Si was delighted and said, With Zhou Gongjin beside me, my cause now has hope. Zhou Yu also recommended two famous Jiangdong scholars to him, Zhang Zhao and Zhang Hong. Sun Si personally visited them and finally persuaded both men to come out. He appointed Zhang Zhao as chief clerk and Zhang Hong as advisor, and together they began planning the great cause of Jiangdong. At that time, Liu Yao, the inspector of Yang province, had retreated to Kui. When he heard that Sun Si was coming to attack, he sent Zhang Ying to defend Niuzhu. Taishi Ci was also serving under Liu Yao and requested permission to fight, but Liu Yao thought he was too young and did not give him an important role. Sun Si advanced toward Niuzhu and Huang Gai fought Jiang Ying. While the battle was still going on, a fire suddenly broke out inside Jiang Ying's camp, throwing the army into chaos. It turned out that Jiang Qing and Zhou Tai had heard that Sun Si respected and had recruited talented men, so they led their followers to join him and secretly set a fire to help in battle. Sun Si took advantage of the moment and captured Niuzhu, gaining a large amount of grain, weapons, and military supplies, while also accepting several thousand surrendered soldiers. After that, Sun Si advanced to Shenting. Sun Si had once dreamed that Emperor Guangwu summoned him, so he brought Chen Pu, Huang Gai, Han Dang, Yang Qing, Zhou Tai, and others, 13 riders in total, up the ridge to offer worship. After the ceremony, he wanted to cross the ridge and observe Liu Yao's camp. When Taishi Ci heard this, he ignored Liu Yao's hesitation and rode out alone to pursue Sun Si. The two met below Shenting Ridge. Taishi Ci shouted, I came here specifically to capture you. Sun Si laughed and said, I am Sun Si. If you can capture me, go ahead and try. The two fought for more than 100 rounds with no winner. Later, both fell from their horses and began wrestling barehanded. Sun Si seized the short halberd from Taishisi's back, while Taishisi tore off Sun Si's helmet to defend himself. Just as the fight became impossible to separate, Liu Yao's reinforcements and Cheng Pu's men arrived one after another. Only then did the two break apart. The next day, each side displayed what they had taken, the short halberd and the helmet, and both armies were full of fighting spirit. Soon, Zhou Yu attacked and entered Kui, shaking the morale of Liu Yao's army. Zhang Zhao advised Sun Si to raid the enemy camp at night. Sun Si accepted the plan and launched a 5-route surprise attack that night. Liu Yao was badly defeated, and Taishisi escaped to Jing County with only a dozen riders. Sun Si then gained Chen Mu's support and continued attacking Liu Yao's former forces, winning battle after battle. Later, Sun Si and Zhou Yu set a plan to capture Taishisi. They attacked Jing County from 3 sides, leaving only the east gate open and placing ambush troops there in advance. When Taishisi broke out, he indeed escaped through the east gate. After fleeing for several dozen li, both his men and horses were exhausted, and he was captured by ambushed soldiers using trip ropes. Sun Si personally untied him, took off his own brocade robe, and placed it over Taishisi's shoulders. He said, Liu Yao is incompetent. He does not know how to use a general like you. Taishisi was deeply moved and surrendered to Sun Si. Sun Si asked him, Back during the battle at Shenting, if you had captured me, would you have killed me? Taishisi smiled and said, That is hard to say. Sun Si laughed loudly and respected him even more. Taishisi then asked permission to gather Liu Yao's defeated soldiers and promised to return by noon the next day. The other generals worried that he would leave and not come back, but Sun Si said, Ziyi is a man who keeps his word. He will certainly return. At noon the next day, Taishisi did return, bringing more than 1,000 soldiers with him. All the generals admired him. From then on, Sun Si's reputation grew greatly. After entering Jiangdong, he strictly forbade his soldiers from looting. The people were not disturbed at all, not even their chickens or dogs. The people of Jiangdong were grateful to him and affectionately called him Sun Lang. Sun Si accepted surrendered soldiers who wished to serve in the army and sent home those who wished to return to farming. The army and the people both gave him their support, and his forces grew rapidly. After that, Sun Si brought back his mother, his uncle, and his younger brothers. He ordered Sun Quan and Zhou Tai to defend Xiongkeng, while he continued south to attack Wu Commandery. At that time, Wu Commandery was held by Yan Baihu, who called himself the virtuous king of Eastern Wu. Sun Si advanced to Fingqiao. Han Dang attacked from the front, while Zhang Qing and Qian Wu attacked secretly by water. Yan Baihu's general Yan Yu was defeated and retreated. Sun Si surrounded Wu City. Taishisi then shot an arrow that pinged a man who was insulting them from the city wall directly to the railing. Yan Baihu was terrified and sent Yan Yu out to ask for peace, saying he wished to divide Jiangdong with Sun Si. Sun Si said angrily, How could a rat like you be worthy of standing equal with me? He executed Yan Yu on the spot. Yan Baihu abandoned the city and fled. Sun Si continued the pursuit. Huang Gai captured Jiaxing, and Taishisi took Wuchang. Yan Baihu fled to Kuaiji and sought shelter with the governor Wang Lang. Wang Lang's officer Yu Fan advised him not to help Yan Baihu, but instead to capture him and present him to Sun Si. Wang Lang refused and joined Yan Baihu against Sun Si. Before the battle, Sun Si said, I raised troops to bring peace to the people of Jiangdong. Why are you helping a bandit? Wang Lang cursed Sun Si for being greedy and never satisfied, and the two sides fought. Zhou Yu and Cheng Pu attacked from behind, and Wang Lang was badly defeated. He retreated into Kuaiji and defended the city. Sun Si attacked for a long time but could not take the city. His uncle Sun Jing offered a plan, saying that most of Kuaiji's grain was stored at Chadu and they could divide their forces to seize it. Zhou Yu also predicted that Wang Lang would think Sun Si was retreating and would surely pursue, so they set an ambush. As expected, Yan Baihu and Zhou Xin led troops out of the city to pursue them and fell into the ambush. They were badly defeated. Zhou Xin was stabbed to death by Sun Si, while Yan Baihu escaped. Wang Lang did not dare return to the city and fled toward the coast. Sun Si took the opportunity to capture Kuaiji and comforted the people. Soon after, Deng Xi arrived with Yan Baihu's head and joined Sun Si. Sun Si appointed him as a separate military commander. By this point, the eastern part of Jiangdong was basically pacified. Meanwhile, when Sun Quan and Zhou Tai were stationed at Xuancheng, mountain bandits attacked them at night. Zhou Tai lifted Sun Quan onto a horse and then fought on foot without armor, desperately driving back the bandits. He was struck by 12 spear wounds and was badly injured. Deng Xi recommended Yu Fan, who brought the famous doctor Hua Tu. Sun Si treated Yu Fan with respect and asked Hua Tu to heal Zhou Tai. After Hua Tu treated him, Zhou Tai recovered within a month. Sun Si then wiped out the mountain bandits, and the situation south of the Yangtze was completely stabilized. After pacifying Jiangdong, Sun Si assigned his generals to defend different areas. On one hand, he sent a report of his achievements to the imperial court. On the other hand, he built a friendly relationship with Cao Cao, while also sending someone to Yuan Shu to ask for the imperial seal back. Yuan Shu had long dreamed of declaring himself emperor, so of course he refused to return it. He summoned General Yang Jingxun, Jilin, and others to discuss the matter, saying, Sun Si borrowed my troops to build his power. Now he occupies Jiangdong and dares to ask for the imperial seal back. This is truly disrespectful. What should we do? General Yang said. Sun Si now controls the natural defense of the Yangtze River with strong troops and plenty of supplies. We should not attack him rashly. It would be better to attack Liu Bei first and avenge his earlier attack. After destroying Liu Bei, we can deal with Sun Si. I have a plan that can capture Liu Bei immediately. With the imperial seal in his hands, Yuan Shu's ambition was becoming harder and harder to hide, but he did not dare to attack Sun Si immediately, so he turned his attention back to Liu Bei. At this moment, Liu Bei had just lost Su province and could only stay temporarily in Xiaopei. Although Liu Bu had taken Su province, his relationship with Liu Bei was friendly only on the surface. Meanwhile, Cao Cao was in Su, holding the emperor under his control and controlling the court, watching coldly as the warlords consumed one another. So what exactly was this plan Yuan Shu mentioned? How would he use the delicate relationship between Liu Bei and Liu Bu to drag both of them into the conflict? And Liu Bu, this unpredictable, greatest warrior under heaven, which side would he choose this time? In the next episode, we will continue with Yuan Shu's trap against Liu Bei, Liu Bu shooting the halberd at the camp gate, and one arrow deciding the fate of the battlefield. Alright, that is everything for today. Thank you for listening to Chinese history and mythology. If you enjoy my show, please follow, like, and share it with the people around you. You are also very welcome to leave a comment on my blog and share topics you are interested in at bonniespodcasthandbook.blogspot.com. I am really looking forward to hearing from you. Alright, that is all for today's Chinese history and mythology. See you next episode.
Sky in light, Nua healed the broken heart. Fuxi traced the world's design. Every age leaves stories bright. Yaya dynasty shaped bronze. Shang dynasty cast Qin dynasty forged the great walls. Han dynasty opened Silk Road winds. Three Kingdoms dynasty turned war to tales. Qin dynasty led History and myth ignite in endless light. China's history moves in mystery through the night. Footsteps of this land enchant the world in light. Three Kingdoms dynasty turn war to tales. Qin dynasty led ink and mountains bloom. Sui dynasty carved the Grand Canal. Tang dynasty crowned the world with art. Song dynasty raised learn